Allow the children
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo touchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, my ego don't come, my people make we shout, my ego don't come, my ego don't come, man of the masses, my ego don't come, this one not the off in mind. And in the touchlight every corner. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you ladder. My ego don't come. My people make we shout. My ego don't come. My ego don't come, man of the masses. My ego don't come. My ego die political. My ego don't come. This one not the off in mind. My ego don't come. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh. My egun don't come. My people make
Hello there.
Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun la wa mo la mo dododo.
Morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Thank you so much for joining me again. And please share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends and tell them Mayegun today again.
Diary political.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́kọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu.
Nigerians hate Supreme Court today because it has now become the Supreme Court of Judicial Bandits, bribe takers, political briefcasers. This is from somebody who was member of that same Supreme Court.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra jù. Àní ẹ̀ súnra jù.
Nigerians are naturally cowards. The criminals that are leading them are very much known to Nigerians. They rant, but they never act. Rotimi Amaechi I have a lot to say tonight.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ, àníyàn tó lájú. Presido bá rúfin o, àníyàn tó lájú.
Read the caption of the broadcast. Read the description as well. Share it. Pay your offering, which is like the broadcast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy once we start.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o, àníyàn tó lájú.
They are so losers, APC.
Àníyàn tó lájú. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnragì. Àníyàn tó lájú.
I'm supposed to do the remix of this song. It seems like it's long overdue. We're supposed to don't add some extra. Anyway, I'm gonna work on that. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. It is Mayegun, the GO of the Temple of Truth, live. You see, when people started saying this Mayegun is a prophet, I said, no, I am not. I am just somebody who chose, right, never to forget the actions of people, including the perpetrators. You see, when you talk about something wrong, that is talking about the problems. I am just somebody who loves to put all of the pieces together, and then we'll be able to kind of make a projection that usually come to pass. Unfortunately, most of the perpetrators of the crimes against Nigeria and against Nigerians, when they have the chance to actually do something by stopping the evil, they are mostly sealed-lipped, because they are part of it. And it's kind of sad when people who are part of the evil machination, when they are no longer part of it anymore, then they suddenly begin to speak the truth. So it hurts, it's sad, because they could have made a lot of difference. When we come on here to say Nigeria Judiciary is a cash and carry business center, it is a place where justice is always for sale. And then the person with the deepest pockets would always be able to buy justice. That is what Nigeria has become since the criminal takeover of Nigeria has been concluded. Now, when you make such allegations with facts, mostly the affected people or institution in Nigeria, they will come back out with guns in hands blazing hot, coming for you. Oh, you are desecrating our image. You are defaming us. You are trying to tarnish the noble image of the judiciary. But this is coming from one of them that retired this week. It's been there for a while. The Supreme Court of Nigeria. Justice Abika Penny Injustice Mohammed Dattijo. Now, this man retired. On the day of his retirement, he decided to let all of you receive this confirmation of everything Mayegun has told you about this criminal contraption. It is an establishment of crook. Until they are gone, Nigeria is dead. That's ash, isn't it, right? A country without justice and law. A country where criminals are, and then criminals and lawbreakers are lawmakers. You will never make any progress. It is not a cause. There is consequence and there are consequences for bad choices. Now, from this table of somebody who has been inside, I want you to listen very, very attentively, word for word, from this retiring or retired member of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. It was supposed to be part and parcel of those, of the Supreme Court panel that was supposed to legitimize the drug dealer, the certificate forger, Tifnumbu. Here you get. Now listen. Now again, it is not because he's in any way useful to anybody anymore. That Dattijo is no longer useful to anybody. His words are no longer useful to anybody. But you see, words of people like this, they are like words on marble to remind all of you that if, as he stepped aside, right, they are already planning on those who are going to replace him. The same tradition, right, that he was part of, that he decided to spill the beans while he was bowing out, yeah, the same tradition continues. But to those of you who are enabling it, allowing it, and considering people like us who are taking them, they're calling them out, calling us troublemakers, people who have no respect. You cannot respect institutions that is being managed by criminals, even if they are wearing wig. Do you understand? You cannot respect institutions or group of people or anybody that is a criminal. You can't. You call them out because the consequences of what they are doing with those important institutions are unimaginable. And that is why they deserve no respect, because they are a bunch of criminals. Dattijo called the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Nigeria Judiciary, he called them Judicial Bandits. People who have taken over the Nigerian judiciary. They have politicized it. They have ethnicized it. They have tribalized it. In fact, they have now turned it into a family business. And this is the man who has been part of it all along. He is not the Chief Justice, so he had this to say. Partly, let's listen.
The conversation about the diminishing number of justices at the Supreme Court has become a refrain. As I bow out today, the number is further reduced to 10 against the constitutional requirement of 21 justices. That this avoidable depletion has affected and will further affect the court and litigants to state in the obvious. We are in an election season where the election tribunals and appellate courts are inundated with all manner of petitions and appeals. The Supreme Court is the final court in the presidential, governorship, and National Assembly election appeals. Yet, there are only 10 justices left to determine these matters. Constitutionally, each of these appeals requires a panel of 7 justices to sit on them. When a panel of 7 justices is constituted to sit on a particular appeal, only 3 justices are left. Even when regular appeals are being heard in the Supreme Court, a panel of 5 justices is required to sit. We must not forget that the court, being the highest in the land, receives all manner of appeals from the court below. Presently, there is neither limit nor distinction to the manner of appeals that come to the apex court. Again, beside election matters which are seasonal, the Supreme Court's dockets is overflowing with civil and criminal appeals, some of which took many years to arrive. Most of these are still pending. Several have not even been assigned hearing dates. The court also exercises original jurisdiction. As the justices who hear these matters are grossly overstretched, unable to meet the demands of their onerous assignment, the litigants who approach the court seeking justice are left in limbo, waiting endlessly for justice to be served. These, as I have said before, are avoidable. While I exit today, the North Central Zone that I represent ceases to have any representation until such a time new appointments are made. My Lord Honorable Justice Ejembi Eko, who also represented the zone, retired on the 23rd of May 2022. It has been a year and 5 months now. There has not been any replacement. With the person of my Lord Honorable Justice Chima Santos Mweze, JSC, on 29th July 2023, the Southeast no longer has any presence at the court. My Lord Honorable Justice Sylvester Mwani Mbuta, JSC, died on the 7th of March 2021. I repeat, 2021. There has not been any appointment in his stead for the Southeast. To ensure justice and transparency in presidential appeals, thank God they have been hard and determined. All geopolitical zones need to be represented. They are required to participate in the hearing of such appeals. It is therefore dangerous, or it was therefore dangerous, for democracy and equity for two entire regions to be left out in the decisions that affect the generality of Nigerians. This is not what our laws envisage. Although it can be posited that no one expected the sudden passing of Honorable Justice Maradi, yet it has been 2 years and 7 months since previous justice from the Southeast died and no appointment was made. The same thing with respect to the replacement of Justice Eko of the North Central, who exited nearly 2 years ago. Honorable Justice Sidi Bagi, now His Royal Highness, the Emir of Lafia from the North Central, had earlier voluntarily retired. He equally is yet to be replaced. Also, it was clear after mission that I would be leaving the court this day on attaining the statutory age of 70. It is then not in doubt that there has been sufficient time for suitable replacements to have been appointed. This is yet to occur. When on the 6th of November,
so as to save our time, okay, so we're just going to go through everything like a little like that, okay. So that was him making a sort of argument for the Southeast Nigeria and then the North Central, which is the middle belt part of Nigeria, not having representatives in the Nigerian Supreme Court, okay. It is at the prerogative of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, okay, to make recommendation through the NJC, Nigerian Judicial Council or something, right? So through them, then it will pass it on to the president to kind of approve, and then they will promote them to the Supreme Court and all that. But for some reason, since all those dates he mentioned, right? Now let's take a look at the part of the corruption in the judiciary that he also mentioned. Corrupt, what do you call it? Corrupted judgment, like that of Hopeless Uzodimba, the Supreme Court governor of Owerri, who has brought terrorism to the eastern part of Nigeria on behalf of APC, by the way, with facts and records to back that up. Dattijo, people are already calling him that thief, Abi. That thief Joe. Okay. If it goes well, right? Injustice that thief Joe, Abi. Here is his position on the crooked judgment from the Supreme Courts that are completely against their own constitution in Nigeria.
if the people we have sworn to defend have lost confidence, there is a problem that must be addressed. Some of these senior members of the bar, inter alia, citing the Ahmed Lawan, the former president of the Senate, and the Imo governorship appeals, claim that decisions of even the apex court have become unpredictable. It is difficult to understand how and where, by these decisions, the judicial pendulum swings. It was not so before they contend. In some quarters, the view is strongly held that filth and intrigues characterize the institution these days. Judges are said to be comfortable in companies they never would have kept in the past. It is being insinuated that some judicial officers even campaign for the politicians. It cannot be more than fine.
And that is the the Chief Justice of Nigeria there, okay? Ariwola, who made all of this happen. He's a member, or should we say he's a patron of the Werewike's G-string, G5. G5 are the G-string governors. So Ariwola, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, was like, he was so proud and happy that his own state governor, Sheyi Makinde, is a member of the G-string governor of PDP at the time. So if all of you didn't see the handwriting on the wall before now, I bet some of you are kind of still experiencing the shock or something, right? However, infiltrating the judiciary with their children, family members, to make them justices across Nigeria is also another, the judicial banditry that has taken over Nigeria, the Agberuism. In fact, is about to get worse. From the mouth of one of them.
The process of appointment of judges and the quality of judgments, of course. A couple of years ago, appointment to the bench was strictly on merit, strictly on merit. Sound knowledge of the law, integrity, honor, and hard work distinguished those who were elevated. Lobbying was unheard of. Lobbying to accost justices into their chambers by people who seek to be elevated, that the judges should put in words for them, were unheard of. You will just be sitting, and if those who are given the responsibility of making the elevation find you worthy, you just get a letter to that effect. You wouldn't have gone to anybody to ask for any favors or recognition. But that is not the case today, unfortunately. I never lobbied, not at any stage of my career, to secure any appointment or elevation. And I challenge anybody to contradict this statement of mine. As much as possible, the most qualified men and women were appointed. That can no longer be said about appointments to the bench these days. The judiciary must be uniquely above board. Appointments should not be polluted by political, selfish, and sectional interests. The place of merit, it must be urged, cannot be overemphasized. Recently, fresh allegations have been made that children and other relatives of serving and retired judges and justices are being appointed into judicial offices at the expense of more qualified candidates lacking in such privilege and backing. It is asserted that the process of appointment to judicial positions are deliberately conducted to give undue advantage to the children, spouses, and mistresses of serving and retired judges and managers of judicial offices. At the Court of Appeal, it is also asserted that presiding justices are now being appointed out of turn out of turn. When we were there, people to become presiding justices knew themselves and when they would become such officers. But now the perception is that now justices have been appointed out of turn. And there is the further issue of the unpredictable nature of recent decisions of the courts as well.
So you are watching this now. You are following all of this. And somehow, maybe something is kind of telling you, right, to ignore these facts and then still start telling yourself that justice must be served. Justice must be served. Justice must be served where? By who? These people? Where? In Nigeria, justice is a very, very rare commodity in a country where you have judicial bandits. Well, Dattijo did not round up his retirement speech without talking about why they are corrupt. According to him, the salary of a judge, I think, is about 750,000 naira, and which is really making them prone to corruption. Baba, we thought legal profession was a noble profession. No be so? Listen to this.
There is an a terrible decline in the services and the welfare of justices and officers of the institution. I should know, and I know, and I'm saying it as I know that. It may interest one to know that, and this is another ridiculous thing, that the Chief Registrar of the Supreme Court earns more than the justices of the court. It's not something of today. This anomaly has been in existence all these years. I was a Chief Registrar in 1986. I knew what salary I drew vis-a-vis what the judges of the High Court that I served were taking. Supreme Court is the apex court. And yet, the Chief Registrar of this court earns much more than I do, earns much more than we all do. And nobody talked. Nobody talked. While she earns 1.2 million a month, justices take home 751,000 naira in a month. The Chief Justice, on his part, takes home 400,000 plus. The Chief Justice. The salary of a justice, curiously, drops rather than increases when he gets the added responsibility of being a Chief Justice. That the unjust and embarrassing salary difference between the justices and the Chief Registrar still abides remains intriguing, to say the least. It is highly intriguing that this anomaly, we all know it, and nobody has taken it a duty to do something about it. Valedictory session after valedictory session. Lapses.
No, like that. So no wonder Kalu said they have to take good care of the judges in Nigeria. And when it took money, 800 billion naira for subsidy palliative, he gave 40 billion to the Nigeria Judicial Council for their welfare. So Dattijo had to add that if you think a judge that is earning 750,000 naira will be offered $10 million cash and a choice of property in his own choosing areas all over Nigeria and outside Nigeria just to write a judgment that says, Kalu has no case to answer. She no go take him. Well, that is the direct or indirect message that Dattijo was also sending there to say, well, we are poorly paid. And during elections is the time we cash out. And therefore we roll out fraudulent judgments and people do nothing. And that is where Rotimi Amaechi comes in. You know, Rotimi Amaechi, the Ubima Judas Iscariot, has been in government for 24 years. He should know better. He should know better than majority of us. And when he came out and he said, what do you want anybody to say that Nigerians don't know? They never react. They are cowards. Just wasting your time trying to say what do you want to say that they don't know? He too, being part of the system that destroyed Nigeria, is kind of temporarily, or I don't know, is for now out of that power. Okay? Is not part of those who are currently lashing out a shege onto Nigerians now. So he can now talk. Again, it is not about Amaechi dear. It is going to be Amaechi coming out to confirm things that you have heard on Mayegun's diary political severally. Some of them they have gotten you hungry because to you, they can't be true. But when the criminals themselves comes out, when they are no longer in that, when they are no longer in active service, it is better to use their words to remind you that those who are there today, lying to you, okay, doing what they can to keep you completely mentally suppressed and oppressed. One day, day two, they are not going to be in active service. And you are spending all your time now trying to defend them and find excuses for them. Some of you will say you don't like Mayegun because of them. But in 4 years, in 8 years, in whatever years, when they are no longer in active service, they will come out and say and exactly what Mayegun said. By then, majority of your lives would have been ruined because that is what they are really good at. Before Amaechi, let me tell you this. Rotimi Amaechi, as a PDP member, was the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly for 8 years. In 2007. From 2007 to 2015. From 2019 to 2007. What am I even saying? 1999 rather. 1999 to 2007, Amaechi was the Speaker, while Odili was governor. 2007 to 2015, Amaechi was governor of Rivers State. Now, 2014 and 2015, Amaechi left PDP to join the formation of APC, Egbe. Then Amaechi became a minister for another 8 years under Buhari. Right? Now, that Amaechi was out yesterday to remind, was it yesterday or even today? It was today. To remind Nigerians when they were asking him about the state of Nigeria right now. Amaechi would have been your president too. If nobody say Pablo Escobar, has a more deeper pocket. Bandits. Amaechi came second in a highly monetized APC, Egbekebese presidential primaries. That was the primaries where delegates were being given $30,000 cash. You remember? Abi, have you forgotten? Tifnubu had to give delegate $30,000. Those delegates, I don't know if they still have the money anyway. Long story short, after that, Amaechi became someone that you can possibly call a lone ranger. He lost his political capital, his political base, and so many other things like that. Now, Amaechi said, well, you allowed all of us. He's not even arguing that he's a thief. No. In his own case, Amaechi is not saying he's not a thief. Amaechi is not saying he's not a criminal. What Amaechi is saying is that, well, Nigerians knows them as criminals. They know them as certificate forgers. They know them as whatever you want to know them and you saw them as, right? But what do you do about it? You just complain, you rant, you lament. It's the same Nigerians that are still going to vote for them. So what do you want him to say? What do you want him to do? To become your Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. If you don't do anything, you would have to remain like that because he said Nigerians are not ready for good governance. But mind you, this won't be the first time that Rotimi Amaechi, the Ubima Judas Iscariot, will say this. He's never shied away from telling all of you, but he knows Nigerians. He said Nigerians are natural cowards, and he's very right. Some will say, no, it's some Nigerians, Baba. And you go choose where you belong. Or if you don't say you know be coward, of course, everything where you they think, you won't wait for another person before you will do what you think you want to do. Do you know that? But we are waiting for people to lead you then. Amaechi is right. In 2014, Amaechi said, you people don't stone them. The moment you come out and they bring out soldiers, you will run away. 8 months after that, Rotimi Amaechi became a minister under Buhari. Look at this.
There must be mass action. There must be mass action. I continue to say people must come out to the street. You see, one thing about Nigeria is the moment they see the police and the army, they run away. And that's because most of the people who come out actually are not poor people. They are rich men or rich men's children who want to enjoy themselves. The day the poor hit the street, then all of us will be on the run.
All of you will be on the run?
Yeah, including you. You're already on the run, so you're in America here.
Yeah, you're right. But seriously, are there times that when the elites, the people in political power in Nigeria, the rich people, which you all meet all the time, are there times that you're afraid that one day the poor could actually come out?
No, I don't know about others, but me, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I believe that one day, if we're not careful, in fact, what we're doing, if you ask me, is not revolutionary. What we're doing, the 7 of us and the rest governors who support us, is to save the ruling class from themselves. Because actually, the way we are going to self-destruct. Or the way we're going, people will rise up one day and come after us.
Do you think other people are worried about that?
No, I don't know. I've never had that discussion. I know people are worried about the way the country is going, but I don't know whether they are worried to the point that there could be a revolution by the poor. Yeah. Nobody knew that what happened in Tunisia would happen because Tunisia was a police state. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
But it took the burning of one person.
Self-immolation.
Yes. That got Tunisia to where it is now.
This was when they were all rooting for Buhari. Jonathan was president at the time. And according to Amaechi, like the G-string governors of 2023, Amaechi and his crew, Amaechi was governor, okay? There was this other guy, they were like about 7, they formed rebel against Jonathan in PDP. So according to them, they needed to save Nigeria. The unemployment rate in Nigeria at the time was 8.5%. The exchange rate of Nigerian naira to dollar was at 145 naira to a dollar. Nigeria's economy was the biggest in Africa at the time, but Jonathan was considered to be a doom that they must save Nigerians from. So they were rooting for Buhari. 3 years after he made that statement and he became a minister, he was caught having a chat with Nigerians 3 years under Buhari. Listen to this.
These are not things you publish. If you publish it, you will never sit with me any day. 3 years of Buhari, everybody's dying, crying. Pressmen are crying, farmers are crying, workers are crying, politicians are crying, students are crying. 3 years, but the rate of poverty is very high. People are hungry. Nigeria will never change. So you should learn to gossip with your
They should learn to gossip with us because you chose to do that with us, and we appreciate it.
I've written to the governor of Katsina. I don't know why he has not replied. To give us land in Daura for the university. That's one. So the university in Daura, the next university will be my village. The University of Transportation. Why are you laughing now? All of you are graduates of one another. There's a common saying that when we are small, charity begins where? My own begin abroad. The president is not listening to anybody. He doesn't care. He can write anything he wants to write. The president doesn't care. Does he read? He will read, he will laugh. He say, come and see, they're abusing me here. In fact, there was one case of somebody in Odisha, a trader who couldn't sell his goats, you understand? Salah. And I was with a guy in the plane. And the man was busy abusing Buhari. Because of Buhari, nobody buying his. He said, come. What's my business with Odisha goat seller? This country won't change, I swear. Nothing can. The only way this country can change is if everybody is killed. This country is going nowhere, I swear. Nothing. You know, even if you divide the country to 10, it will still not change. No, I'm not joking. When Magnus was my SSG, I told him this country is hopeless and helpless. So that's stop it now. Coming from a governor, nobody, don't be saying that. When 2 months in Abuja, so this country is hopeless and helpless. I said, why? He said, you're right. The only thing they do in Abuja is share money. They don't work. These are not things.
So these were actually documented evidence of somebody who knows better, telling everyone that, you allow us to do what we want to, or you will see one weary that is going to say, Amaechi is crying because Tinubu no give him appointments. We are talking about your life. The life of your own children, if you have any, is being blown away. It's like, your life is like that paper that is being set on fire and it's just going up like that. The ashes is going up in smoke. And all you care about is Amaechi is not being given an appointment. That is why he's crying. Are you being serious? Well, he said that at the time, and they all laughed. They all laughed. Amaechi, Rotimi Amaechi, was the one who was going to build a rail line from Kano to Maradi in Nigeria Republic, with Nigeria's borrowed money. Meanwhile, there is actually no real connection between the port city of Lagos from the western Nigeria to the eastern Nigeria, where Amaechi himself comes from, to facilitate trade. Now, in case if you don't understand this, I'll explain them to you better. Nigeria Republic is considered to be landlocked. They don't have any real seaport to bring in their own goods. So what they usually do is they use Benin Republic or Nigeria seaport so that they will now truck their goods from Nigeria through the northern Nigeria to Niger, or from Benin Republic through Semeboda, through Nigeria and all that. So they always, according to Amaechi, they always complain of police extortions on the road, taking money from them, or the insecurity in Nigeria being this or that. So according to Amaechi, Nigeria should go and borrow $6.5 billion to build a rail line from Kano to Maradi in Niger Republic. And guess what? The total trade balance between Niger Republic and Nigeria annually is put at $410 million. It don't even reach half a billion dollars. Nigeria Amaechi, to satisfy Buhari, was moving Nigeria to borrow money in building rail line to Niger for Niger Republic. People scream at the time, "Are you mad, Dini? What did they worry you? Why are you people like this? What is wrong with you?" And he came out and he said, Chinese will not give their money to build railway from Lagos to Port Harcourt. They will only give their money to build railway from Kano to Maradi, and Nigeria will pay the full money. The same Rotimi Amaechi was also, he also spent 3 years and finally 8 years or 7 years in ensuring that Nigeria that has become so broke, financially bankrupt under his boss, Buhari at the time. This same Rotimi Amaechi used the scarce resources to go and build a university in Daura for Buhari. They called it University of Transportation. It is one of those wasteful ideas in trying to seek favor, not for the benefit of anybody, but just for self-aggrandizement. It is similar to the Kaduna refinery. Remember that Nigerian crude oil is controlled by, not by the owners of the crude oil. I am talking about the indigenous people of the southern part of Nigeria, who actually owns the crude and the gas. The owners are mostly from northern Nigeria, who inherited them from their own parents, and possibly who inherited them or who got them from their own political friends at one time or another. These criminals decided to use Nigeria money to build a refinery in Kaduna, and there is a desert. It's actually like a dry land. Kaduna has no crude oil or nothing. So they said they built refinery in Kaduna because of insecurity in Niger Delta. Because the Niger Delta terrorists called militants usually blow up the refineries, or there are those who are not allowing the refineries to work, which is not true. These criminals decided to use billions of borrowed money to build refineries in Kaduna that doesn't, and never in any time, refined any crude. Not even a drop of kerosene has been manufactured or refined in that place for the past 8 years. But guess what? Every year, they have a bill for their staff that is over 45 billion naira. They have a budget of over 200 billion naira. Can you believe that? And 99% of those who are there are from northern Nigeria. Majority of them have never seen what crude oil looks like, except for the prototype they probably put on a shelf in their office there. They never refined anything, but they always have a bill to pay salary. People are earning humongous salary from a refinery that is indeed not working. They called it, they also have another one in Kaduna. They call it a dry port in Kaduna. Dry ports. You understand? So all of this waste were financed by this Rotimi Amaechi. Okay, by the time it was done, 90% of the project he facilitated through borrowed money remained uncompleted, and that is also a fact. But like I said, Rotimi Amaechi is not saying they are not thieves. He's not saying they are not crooks. He is not in any way defending all they have done. Okay, what he is saying is that Nigerians allowed it. Okay, you allowed it. And everything that is happening today, you allowed it. Did any of the politicians tell you that they are not thieves? They are not forgers. They are not certificate forgers, or they are not drug dealers and all those things. Even if you see them doing the crime face to face, you will still see the coward, impoverished, brainwashed Nigerians that will still defend them and say, and so. So it's just a reminder how, from the mouth of Amaechi himself, if you care.
The beginning is to say to you that, Ikechukwu, if some Nigerians were telling you that you shouldn't have given me an opportunity to speak, tell them that so many television houses and individuals had approached me to speak on different issues since I left office, and I declined. 2 reasons why did I decline? 2 reasons. My publicist said don't speak, and I chose to obey my publicist, and he's very angry that I'm speaking today. He knows. Second reason, what is new to say? Nigerians don't react to anything. Has any politician told you that he's not a thief? Tell me one politician that has told you that he's not a thief. Tell me one. I don't know why you're gathering forgery. No forgery. What politician told you I didn't forge? Which politician told you he went to university? Which politician told you he served in NYSC? Which politician told you he has a certificate? Nigerians know and still vote for them. So what's your problem? No, tell me what's your problem. So I said, why should I speak when already there's nothing new? Okay, you observed Buhari's period. I will leave Port Harcourt 1 a.m. I arrive Abuja, I leave Abuja 3 a.m. Somebody said they made Buhari. Did I say anything? I didn't say anything. It's not important. Nigerians choose who to believe and who not to believe. Nigerians choose who to vote and who not to vote. Even if you come to a Nigerian man's house and kill the mother, the father will continue his life. Nothing bothers you. Nothing. So why do I waste my time? Yes, that's original. So give it to me. You see it, so that you won't say tomorrow he brought photocopies. But when we get there, that is when we're talking about Buhari's government. So, there's nothing that our chairman said that is new. Absolutely not new. I've said this several times. I've taken so many risks. I've said too many things. The fight from Goodluck's government to Buhari's government, you all knew about it. My aircraft was seized. I was shot at. If I was killed, what would happen? Nothing. So you would die a useless life. So what did I choose? I chose to stay in my house quietly. Fortunately for me, I got admission to study in Nigerian law school. And rule number 1 is, like they told me if I came here, you are our property. You have no right to go anywhere unless we permit you. That's the rule in the Nigerian law school. So anybody who says, why have I not seen you? I'm a student of Nigerian law school. Until I graduate, I can't disobey them. So I chose not to speak again because there is nothing to say, and because Nigerians will do absolutely nothing. If you say it's a lie, line up 10 Nigerians and shoot them tomorrow, and nothing will happen. If you say it's a lie, in fact, the worst thing about Nigerians is that even when you claim you're not committing any crime, and they pick you up tomorrow, we said it is a thief. Nigerians will join. They will chorus it, and you go to prison for nothing. The greatest fear I have is being found in prison for nothing. And you can be found in prison for doing. So, I don't want to repeat what I used to say before because you hold it against me. Those who are close to me know. We repeated yesterday. I will just only use one word. I won't use the rest. I say it's a hopeless situation. Is it a lie? So let's go a bit further. Let's go a bit further. You will be shocked that I won't talk about Buhari's government for 2 reasons. And I won't talk about President Tinubu's government. One reason why I won't talk about Buhari's government, I'm a participant. But they asked me that question yesterday. What moral reason do you have to criticize Buhari's government, having been part of it? That was the argument. I do, if I want to argue it. But, again, that was a huge debate amongst us. And we are all agreed I should say nothing about the government. So I now told them if I will say nothing about Buhari's government, I will also say nothing about President Tinubu's government. Because you know the problem. Instead of Nigerians finding solutions to their problem, they are committing suicide. I'm praying for you every day that you should continue to commit suicide so that by the time I wake up one day, all of you have died. I can now reap the benefit of your death by taking those things. What other people resist, like in Ghana, as is going on now, like in Kenya, is what Nigeria. No worry, not before 4 years. After 4 years, he go. The man wins the second time, whether by magic or by crook or by reason. You don't be only 8 years. No be good luck. No be good luck don't go so. No be why don't go so. He go soon go. Another person will come and repeat the same thing. You'll be saying that until the day God will come. For those of us who are Christians. So I have chosen to be like you. Say nothing here. And
did you get the message? If you are fighting for Nigerians, I advise you, number one, don't fight for Nigerians. Okay? When they are ready to fight for themselves, they will fight for themselves. But you should be ready to fight for yourself, like I am doing. Speak out, mobilize, organize, enlighten, and do everything within your capacity to ensure that you have active citizens who are ready until when you have the number. When you are fighting for Nigerians, don't use your two hands, fighting for them, because if you choose to fight for Nigerians, you have to use one hand in fighting their oppressors, the criminals they worship. The second hand, you have to use that to protect yourself from Nigerians that are going to be hitting you with stone, with stick, telling you that who send you? Now who send you? Say me you the fighter. Waiting be your business. Leave them alone. Mayegun, leave Tinubu alone and face your life. Mayegun, what is your problem? What is your problem? Leave him alone. Where's your father? You this go and look for a job. You this Mayegun, go and look for life. Now Nigerians be that sure you get. So at the end of the day, it will surprise you, or should I say, it will shock you, that by the time you bring back your two arms, you will have more scars from Nigerians that are ready to lynch you than the scars you are going to get from fighting the criminals by facing them. I know they fight for anybody. Make everybody just be ready to fight for his own right. There is no Messiah coming to come and save anybody. I keep saying that. And you need to remember that always. Because Messiah can't ball anywhere. So Amaechi is saying that even if you kill some people, papa kill their mama, the way they have been so enslaved, they will tell you, say, if my papa and mama no do something bad, Tifnubu no go kill them. Honestly. So that is why Amaechi was like, if I get killed or I go to prison, he saw his own people, killing other people who criticized them. I mean, jailing people who did nothing. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is currently locked up in DSS cell. He did nothing. Nothing. Criminal, no to law. Sure you get. But he's locked up. And what did Nigeria do? We not tell you. Like Amaechi said, when they see their, neighbor, that they're already chorusing that we don't even know what thing they do for a living, and is arrested for something, whether he did it or he didn't do it, the society will be like, you don't hear them, they don't arrest your friend. They say it's armed robbery. I told you, that guy no clean. I told you. So they are not in any way, the society itself cares no hoot about anybody. They don't give a damn about you. So if you now have a chance of robbing them, of cheating them, please don't hesitate to do it, because whether you do it or you don't do it, they don't give a damn. In fact, for not doing it, they may even hate you for it. That's what Amaechi is saying. And he's so right. Somebody said, as much as they detest him, he's being honest. He is not saying he's a saint. He's not saying he's not one of them. He categorically said yes. But look at what is going on in Ghana. Look at what is going on all over Africa, where people have actually risen up against the kind of life that their criminal leaders are trying to force on them. But in Nigeria, cry, rant, And then they move on. He's so right. Somebody said it is so painful that he's so right. And there is nothing anyone can do about it. Seems so, yeah? But there's another part I actually wanted to also listen to. This one is about him and the lady that was in charge of MPA. That lady, that one, yeah, the lady in blue. Okay, Adisa Bala. What is that her name again? When Amaechi was a minister of transportation, she was the one in charge of the Nigerian Port Authority, NPA. Sure you get. Now she's accused of stealing over 70 billion naira. This woman on the left stole 70 billion. Then they later said, no, it wasn't 70 billion, it was 22 billion naira. Now she wrote a book to say people who are accusing her of stealing money, they were those. She stood on their toes, including Amaechi. And she now spoke about how Amaechi was using MPA to loot money, right? And she stopped that, and Amaechi wanted that gone. Another thing, so Amaechi now had to say, no be waiting up with that. So in his own words, listen.
She stepped on no toes. Go back to the hotel now and get me that copy. So what I want you to join is, there's a huge debate in the past 6 months since after she wrote that book, whether I should respond or not. And I chose that I will respond today. 90% of my friends said I should not. In fact, there's somebody who is not here today because I said I will respond. 10%, including my wife, forget my wife. Whatever I say is sacrosanct to my wife. But including my wife, says I should proceed and respond. I want to know. I want to know whether I should respond or ignore. And Ikechukwu is on the side of people who say I should respond. My very good friends and very important friends feel that you will be making my former managing director of MPA important. But the lies were too many. For instance, she claims that she was not indicted by the panel. I have left the first page of my list into the last. I'm talking about the last now, Buhari's government. Now, she says she wasn't indicted by the panel. 10 counts, she was found guilty on all the 10 counts. I even came with a copy of the memo to the president, in which the president endorsed her removal. And we took the president, count 1, which is count 1, this is the position of the panel. Panel says she's guilty. These are the reasons why she's guilty. Count 2, including the fact that an managing director of MPA with 2.5 million naira approval limit can approve 2.8 billion naira contract. No appropriation. Including the fact that BBB found that even if I were to approve, despite the lack of appropriation, you are overpriced by 58 million naira. So tell them to refund the 58 million naira having awarded the contract. Why is that document not public? Prominent Nigerians are involved. She gave waivers to prominent Nigerians, which she has no power to give. And these are dollars agreeable to Nigerian economy. But she was bold to write a book. Or is it a pamphlet? And Nigerians were following her, launching the book. So how would Nigeria move forward? But let's wait until they bring the original copy. Because if I give you the photocopy now, you say it's fake. I will show you the original, but I won't allow you to read it because you will see the names of those prominent Nigerians that were indicted by the panel. That the panel said they should refund the money. I would rather read the areas that concern her and leave those prominent Nigerians. They didn't look for my trouble. We printed only 4 copies. 2 of them had been stolen. So she thought that my own copy too had been stolen. I checked until 3 days ago, the copy came up. From nowhere I saw it. And I said to everybody, look, if it was not God, how would this copy just suddenly emerge? Now that I have it, don't you think I should respond and show the...
Nuisance Lele.
I knew he was going to mention God. So that is why I was like, hey, hold up, stop there, stop right there. Don't bring God into this again, okay? Somebody said when he knocked off those microphones in front of him, he was about to lie. So when you're about to lie, you may just have to like take a breath and then create a distraction so that you can easily, quickly gather your thoughts. Where do you want to start from? And he lied. Sure you get. So, and then he was talking about God and all of that stuff. But did you hear where he's calling some people prominent Nigerians? Prominent criminals are those who are parading themselves as prominent Nigerians. And then the voluntary slaves, because it's like that is what they now call the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris. They are calling them voluntary slaves. They get upset when people who dress so smart and nice and clean shaved, drive nice cars. I'm talking about criminals. So when they are called criminals, voluntary slaves, they get upset. Can you call your papa criminal? Can you call your mama criminal? Because my papa and mama are not criminals, for goodness sake. And listen, when the true born, I'm talking about when the freeborns are having conversation, let voluntary slaves, please leave the room. I mean, Amaechi knows you very well. And indeed, just for the theatrical show off and all that, he has dropped a reality that if anyone actually has a problem with reasoning or something like that, this one it's actually not that hard to process. As it, you are done for. Nigeria is done for. And indeed, even if you act and continue to live in denial, the reality will continue to stare you right there on your face, right? And just prick you and continue to kind of trouble your conscience too. That is, if you are not yet a victim, that should be used as an example to those who still don't think it can happen to them. Nigeria is done for. Some people are not really giving up. A lot of them are saying Tinubu is not their president. For 8 years, if you heard or see any video where I called Buhari a president, it would have been probably a slip of tongue. For 8 years, I knew Buhari would be the president for the honorable voluntary idiots, ethnic jingoists, tribal, jingoists as well, or these racist bombs who hide behind politics or whatever they call it, to actually, roll out their vituperations that are completely divisive. So I knew where it was going to end. And I'm so glad that everything I actually projected or predicted eventually happened. Sure, you understand that? So yeah, we have seen a lot of that. And today, there are those who knows that, except for those who were kind of a born idiot or voluntary slave, who see Buhari as a possible solution to Nigeria problem at the time. So I wasn't wrong. So for 8 solid years, I referred to Buhari as the president, your president. His presidency was called the presidency. The what do you call it? The the association of clowns, putting a crown on the head of clowns and putting them inside a palace will not make that clown a king. It's going to make him a real clown, and he will turn the entire palace into a circus. That's exactly what Buhari did for 8 years. There are those Nigerians today who are saying that if Tinubu is not their president, no matter the tag or no matter the bought legitimacy or forced legitimacy from the Supreme Court of Judicial Banditry of Nigeria, So they assembled in London, and they are organizing a mega rally as well, sometimes on the 4th of November in London, to the BBC headquarters, to number 10 Downing Street, straight there as well to the Nigerian High Commission in London, which is Nigeriansnow in London. But before then, they have this message for a lot of you, those who will never really take it. But I'm coming back to something Amaechi said as well before we proceed.
He's got files with the DEA, he's got files with the State Department, he is a career criminal, he stole a female identity, he stole Nigerian people's mandate, he stole a female identity, he has forfeited $460,000 during his career criminal session when he was dealing drugs. He is known to be a drug dealer, an identity thief, a fraudster. He is a career criminal and does not represent the Nigerian people. We want the world to know that the imposter president of Nigeria stole a female's identity, and that is what he is bearing today. So please, do not accord him any respect. Instead, we hope that you spit on him when you see him. Nigeria definitely deserves better than this. Nigeria's imposter president stole a female's identity, and he has got files with the FBI. He's got files with the CIA. He's got files with the DEA. He is using a female's identity.
Chief Tinubu is not our president. Chief Tinubu is a certificate forger. Chief Tinubu is not our president.
Chief Tinubu is not our president.
Chief Tinubu is a certificate forger.
Chief Tinubu is a certificate forger.
Chief Tinubu stole the people's mandate.
Chief Tinubu stole the people's mandate.
APC is a party of criminals.
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 Chief Tinubu is a career criminal.
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 Chief Tinubu stole the people's mandate.
Chief Tinubu stole the people's mandate.
Chief Tinubu has captured the Nigerian state.
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 Chief Tinubu is the worst of us.
Chief Tinubu is the worst of us.
The current imposter in Aso Rock is not our president.
The current imposter in Aso Rock is not our president.
Chief Tinubu does not represent us.
Chief Tinubu does not represent us.
Nigerians deserve better.
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 Chief Tinubu is not our president.
Chief Tinubu is not our president.
Supreme Court ignored certificate forgery.
Supreme Court supports certificate forgery.
Supreme Court supports certificate forgery.
Supreme Court of Nigeria supports certificate forgery.
Chief Tinubu is not our president.
Chief Tinubu is not our president.
Chief Tinubu, who you be?
Chief Tinubu, who you be?
Chief Tinubu,
who you be?
Chief Tinubu,
who you be?
Chief Tinubu,
who you be?
Chief Tinubu,
who you be?
Chief Tinubu,
they are coming.
And we are competing with armed robbers and the bandits to recruit from the youths who are unemployed. 33% unemployed. Recruit 50 million youths into the army and the other thing. Take away from their recruitment source. What they will eat? Cassava, àgbàdo, corn in the morning, yam in the afternoon. It's growing here. You create demand and consumption.
Ah, God, why do you brought me to this Nigeria? What is my sin? Kí lẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mi gangan? Kí ni ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ mi tó fi dá mi sí Nàìjíríà yìí? Èkíní, èkejì, ẹ̀kẹta. Ó yẹ o.
Anyway, make I give my own TED talk for the next few minutes. I kind of love how this program was coming up chapter after chapter. Then we got to a stage where we saw Nigerians in London, very handful, who were bold enough to come out and stand outside the Nigerian embassy, or should we call it Nigerian Commission in London, in their own group protests. And I can see a lot of you watching from the comfort of your bedroom right now, or maybe you are somewhere else, judging them. That is what will now take me back to what Amaechi said at the end of that his first clip, when he said, Nigerians don't really care. Share you get? Which kind of protest be this? Protest of 4 people. Those 4 people, they could be in their own bedroom like you right now, just to watch a video and just like every now and then. But those are the people who have taken it beyond just talking. And you can't sit down there and comfortably type noisemakers. They are wasting their times. Amaechi said, the typical Nigerian will tell you, is it not just 4 years? 4 years will soon be over now. Then if the person now rig again by crook or hook, and 4 years turn to 8 years, they will say, oh, at least it's already done 4 years. It's only 4 years that is remaining. It will soon leave. Same thing they told you during Buhari. 8 years, bagam, in your life, gone. It is the same thing they are going to tell you now. And that is why they will sit down there watching me now and say, oh, the protest can never change anything, Jari. It's a waste of time. Oh, yeah, revolution. Until we all get to do revolution. All this talk. Somebody who is saying somebody that is enlightening the people of why and of what and why they need to do what they have to do, right? Is considered wasting time and just talking by somebody whose only contribution is his phone and the ability to type something that is readable. What do I mean by that? Some people are already doing more than just talking. Okay? And for those who are going to kind of just expect a sudden, you want revolution. You want people to actually come out and show this or that, right? But you don't want to be those people. Do you understand? Like, you don't want to, you don't want that people to be you. There should be people out there, Abi. There should be people out there that are supposed to come out, not you. Because you are so much better off as a planner. Like, all of us can just be planners, right? So when you see 4, 5 people, 10, 20, who have taken it beyond just complaining, even if you see one single person going on a solo protest, one-man protest, it is still part of his or her own contribution to publicly say, I reject this. Now, we are all saying that if we have a huge number of us that are really going to come out and make statements and say, we reject this. But what majority of you don't really admit is this. you don't see yourself being one of those who are going to be out there, Abi, but you want a lot of people out there. I mean, I don't know if that message actually clear to you or something or not, but the bottom line is this. Nobody is coming to fight for anybody. Don't even think about it. Okay? It is when you feel like you actually deserves better and there are no options being given to you. Like there are millions of people who have no options right now. Unfortunately, there are also the millions of people who believes that they still have options by giving lifeline to these criminals. So when people who have been part and parcel of the rotten system kind of come out to tell us that we are all FUCKED, fragged, like that, right? Why do you want to create an alternative reality to make it look like, okay, maybe that person is just disgruntled? Oh, it's disgruntled, that is why. It's because they don't give a share. Papa, we are talking about what they are doing or what they have done that has actually altered the, what do you call it, the trajectory of your many life, including so many of our lives today. And that person is not even claiming any sanctimonious, being sanctimonious or anything. He's saying you allowed it. And it's exactly what we have said on this program many times too. For every suffering, for every criminal that has his own chance of taking advantage of Nigerians, just believe that they allowed it. Unfortunately, those you probably will wish to speak out, the elite as you call them, they are also part and parcel of the rots. Now it's now up to you to stop kind of listening to rogues. I don't know how long it's going to take you. Some believe that it is life experience that's going to actually teach you. Or like many of us, which life experience has, sort of taught us even better about Nigeria. A lot of you are going to also come to that time and that reality too, eventually. Okay? Well, I wish that you don't really have to be a victim that experiences all we are saying now before you can actually stand up and do something. Because unfortunately, many times, when you become the victim of Nigeria and the Nigerian bad leadership, and you know what I mean, right? You may not even have the energy, the strength. You may not even be, the energy to fight it back. You may not even be alive to even be able to fight it back. And that is why I always encourage people to say, like, listen, you don't need to be a victim. Before you know, these guys have said it. Nigeria is hopeless. Nigeria is helpless. And a lot of you don't believe, or you just don't want to believe. Many of us also know, and we have seen it, that Nigeria is hopeless. Nigeria is helpless. Okay? And 4 years, 8 years, or even a single year that these criminals are in charge of our own destinies, right? It's like it's more or less like a destiny lost. And that is why, if you are still waiting for that thing, that is really going to actually make you stand up when it is already supposed to have happened since yesterday. Okay? I hope you won't be a victim before you realize that. Somebody struck another chord, kind of, in America, and that is Chimamanda Adichie, where she was kind of in an audience with Peter Obi and others. So she introduced Peter Obi as demander to one election in Nigeria. But the way I am saying it, disobedient movement or so, is not going away anytime soon. Oh. Well, just a spice on this for tonight. Watch this.
So in Nigeria, when events happen and when there's a big woman or a big man, people say, we want to recognize the presence of... So I'm going to ask you to let me be very Nigerian today and say that I want to recognize the presence of a man I deeply respect and a man who I think is a beacon of hope, not just for Nigeria, but for Africa. And he's the man who many of us know won the elections in Nigeria. He's here with us, Mr. Peter Obi. I just want to let you all know that he's going to tell me off for doing this because he didn't want it to be known, and he is also an example of that very rare quality in politicians, which is genuine humility. Yes.
You know, Chimamanda is a woman I admire. I always admire Chimamanda every time she speaks. But I really loved that speech she gave there, which is actually true. When you want to introduce a big man in Nigeria, let me welcome. But I also like the fact that, you know, she touched on that very critical aspect of someone who has humility as a politician, which I think it's very important for all politicians to emulate. You have to...
Humility, no arrogance, and the rest of that. I think it's about what he called himself, character, competence, and what again? The 3C. You must have character. You must be competent. What's his third one? You must not be a forger. A lot of people are now kind of sending apologies to Mesoma. Now that the Supreme Court of Nigeria, the Judicial Bandits in Nigeria have legitimized a certificate forger, legitimized a drug runner. And this time around, they are going to help him to further destroy Nigeria. One capacity new. So 3 C's of something that is so rare in the, in today's criminal politicians in Nigeria. So they say it is a competent, capacity, and character. I thought it's actually, competence, capacity, competence, and character. 3 C's. So that is one thing that I kind of have also acknowledged on this platform. The guy is not a saint. But by the time you line up all of the rogues in charge of Nigeria today, you would bring him out and it's going to be like a saint among them. Because you are kind of, they've taken over Nigeria. Guys, yesterday, they were celebrating that Nigeria Naira was fighting back. When suddenly, it gained 116 Naira for a few hours. Actually, before last night, even though Nigeria Naira to dollar came down to 1,132. So before we went to bed last night, it was already back to 1,211 Naira. That was before last night too. So when they woke up yesterday morning and they said, it's like Naira is fighting back. Oh. It has come down from 1,302 Naira to 1,250 Naira. So everybody started saying, Naira, you can do it. You can do it. Come on, Naira, go on, push back. Oh yeah, fight back. Oh yeah. And before you know it, it's kind of gained more. And it came down to 1,200. They say, yeah, we know it. Naira, you can do it. You can do it. Go ahead. You can do it. Baba, he managed. It came down again to 1,150. Say, some of them started saying, Tifnumbu's economic policy is working. Tifnumbu's monetary, whatever nonsense is working. The voodoo economy. By the time it was 4 p.m. in the evening, Naira don't tire. You know, the hand no day up again because they were able to buy a temporary injection that they injected Naira with. And guess how much that was? $1 billion injection. So they injected the dying Naira. So dying Naira gained energy for a few minutes or few hours. Can they punch dollar, punch dollar, punch dollar? By evening, it has expired. The dosage has expired. So Naira way day up before, the hand can they go down. But for now, it's still strong enough to they take head, like Muhammad Ali, that will just give you his head to punch. Bah, 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 bah. So Naira no get hand to guide much time to just, before you know it, now go take another dive, except they get another injection, maybe 1 billion, maybe 2 billion. So with that way, Naira will fight back. So a lot of people who woke up surprisingly that the same Naira that has been taking a spiral fall, especially in the last 6 weeks, suddenly started fighting back. Naira must be on drug. Of course, Naira was on drug. They injected $1 billion drug into his vein. And the moment the drug wears off, right? Dollar done, they go back to where he did before to continue the down spiral fall. I am not wishing Naira. Prayer, no be prayer. Go make Naira function. I have told you this many times. Okay? Stop blaspheming God. Let me say this before I take calls, okay? A lot of you, when we are talking about politics and the people in charge of government, the power of, should I say, the effect of their decisions on people is so massive that they were supposed to be held responsible for all of their actions and inactions. But so many of you who are godly people, I don't have problem with your faith. Seriously, I don't. And sometimes I kind of feel bad that some people will say, Mayegun, I don't know if you believe in God or not, but I just want you to, I do believe in God. Some people will tell you that there is no God. I don't question them. That is their belief. I don't have religion because God doesn't have any religion to start with, okay? But knowing God or not knowing God has nothing to do with religion in my own book. And that is why I kind of respect all religion. And I feel at home with all religions. The only way I have problem with a lot of you who have religion is that when I am talking about criminals and their actions through bogus, fraudulent state policies, sure you get, these actions affect lives in real life. I don't want you to start saying, let us pray to God for them. You are blaspheming God. You are trying to make God a magician. Am I going to let us pray for them? Are you mad, Dini? She mad, Dini, ma? She won't shake for one. Did they cost them when they started ruining Nigeria? She ekpe lo she for one. So when I now tell you, leave God out of it, oh, please, story along, you begin to feel like it is because somebody doesn't believe in your God. No, you are trying to make God look like a magician. Somebody went on to go and collect loan with interest in the name of giving people subsidy palliative, 800 billion naira. And from that money, some of them took 240 billion. Another one took 40 billion. And they decided to go and buy themselves 160 million naira car each. The people that they promised subsidy have not been given anything. They're languishing. They are wallowing in the policy of that saying they are removed subsidy. That's the action of the policy, right? Then you turn around and you say we should pray for them. She will share any money. Because it's by Yahweh. The right thing for us to do is to jointly call them out and hold them responsible. Don't say let us pray to God to touch them. It's provocative. You know that you are provoking me. They do all things they have done intentionally. There are expected blowback from them. There's no point in praying for them. There's no point in saying, God will judge them. And the rest of all those things. You may say them passively, which is all right, but don't make them look like it's actually what is going to happen. It doesn't work that way. And that is what I don't like when I say don't bring God into this conversation, okay? Pray to God, follow your faith, follow your doctrine, and all of that. If you can ask God privately to touch them, that is fine. You don't come public and say all of these things. We should just try and then call on God to come and touch them. It is very, very insulting, just for those who do that all the time. You cannot pray your way out of the problems that is self-inflicted and that is still very much happening. You can't pray your way out of that. You can pray in your own faith, okay? Pray according to your belief. When you pray, pray to God to give you direction. Pray to God to bolden your heart, to give you courage, like Daniel, so that when the day comes that you will need to face your worst fear and your worst enemy, you will be courageous enough. The strength of God, the strength of your faith will abide with you, and you will fight like Daniel, or like any other prophet you believe in, or any other religion you believe in, because the weapon fashioned against all of us are none other than these career criminals you see in Nigeria today. Those are the weapons fashioned against you. If you are poor, watching me today that you are poor, they are the reasons why you are poor. If you are suffering from serious health issue right now, that is almost turning you into poverty, there is no village people after you. There is nobody that has nailed your destiny, or they have nailed your blood somewhere, or they have kind of slaughtered a cow, pretending that they have killed you. Nobody is doing all of that. That is not what is wrong with you. The real devil and enemies that you have been so scared of, or this worried about, are none other than these criminals in agbada and suit. So if you have to pray, as somebody who prays a lot, then you must also be bold and courageous enough to reject them at every given opportunity. Reject them, rebuke them, and do everything to actually deny them the air they breathe, by enabling them, by, that's my own TED talk. The rest are just going to be like Bala Blue, as well as Bulaba. But the bottom line right now is this: Amaechi is right, Dattijo is right. And what do you think? Nothing. Of course. A lot have said, like Amaechi also said, you will do nothing. You will see nothing. And you will do nothing. You will see no evil. And you will what? You will say no evil, Abi. But at the same time, you expect an unjust or unjustly run society to suddenly have a place for justice. And when you can no longer get justice in a society, it is really worse than Banana Republic, because they have put up a pseudo system in place. The ones that make you feel like, if you see a crime, there is police. Abi? If you see, what do you call it? If you feel cheated, there is judiciary. Okay? And if you feel like your voice is being drowned, there is a media. All these things appear like they are there, but they are there not for you. They are the weapons fashioned against you. The weapons fashioned against you. And the question is that you know what you're going to do about it. I think that's what I'm going to be doing all the time now. Ask you, now that you know all of this, what are you going to do about it? Unexpectedly, maybe nothing. Until when you feel like you shouldn't sit back there watching Mayegun to condemn those who are not just talking, but they are actually doing things to encourage everyone to say, if one is interested, 10 can be interested, 10,000 can be interested. Now, if one can come out, 10 can come out, 10,000 can come out. It all starts with one person. A journey of 1,000 miles, they say, actually begins with a step. The most difficult step is to take. And once you take that first step of the rest of the journey is going to be an adventure. And if you really think we need to take this to the real next level, as some are saying, then we all need to be the example of what we want to see. When you hear that there is a sort of a movement or a gathering, okay, where people are called out, wherever you are, all over the world. We all use social media most of the time anyway. And when you come across them, I mean, if you are not there, and others, I mean, how could you be so kind of like surprised that others are not there too? So if you want others to be there, it's because you want to be there too. You have to be interested in being part of it and not just spectator. Okay? We all have a role to play, and they will all come to all of us as time goes by. And I have told people many times that you wish that Nigeria actually so kind of fix our problems and all of that, get better and remain one. It will remain a wish. The criminals who have the chance to actually make Nigeria last, united and prosperous, they are doing everything day and night to keep Nigeria and Nigerians on their knees. And there is no way you will see any progress in such place. And wishing that they would do something right is not enough. Sometimes you would have to actually make them do it or get rid of them. Now, the mentality of doing that is also beyond just thinking it. But for those who know better about the philosophies of thinking and doing, if you can think it, that same you who can think it can actually make it happen too. Now we all need to begin to go beyond just thinking, talking, to actually doing. 1, 2, 3, the number will pile and the difference can be made. Again, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Now that you know this. Nothing. No, maybe not nothing. Thank you very much for coming to my TED Talk again tonight. I am going to pop us on a short hold, okay? Which is that I'm going to go on a break. Now, if you have been here with me all night, you can still take this moment to kind of like the broadcast before you leave, if you have to leave, okay? But if not, the number to call on, to call the studio on is actually right there on your screen, okay? It's just scrolling on the screen. You can call in and add your own voice to this if you care to. And thank you, everyone. I will be back, hopefully. Don't go anywhere.
Buhari is a
Hello there.
Hello, Michael. Good evening.
Good evening to you too. How are you?
I'm
Sharp,
fine,
is that
thank
you?
Yeah, I changed my profile.
Did you? Well, I kind of still managed to get that's you. So, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm doing well. How about you?
Well, can't complain. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
Please.
Fantastic show as usual.
Thank you.
Okay. So let me start with when the judgment came through. I think that day I was down, you know.
Sorry.
It felt like Nigeria died on that day. In fact, I talked to a lot of my family back home and everything. And they echoed the same sentiments as well. You know, it felt like Nigeria died on that particular day. You know, because what they don't understand, even though a lot of it was based off of technicalities and all of that, is what the unintended consequences, which is you're saying that someone with a criminal record can be a president, should be a president of the country. You are legitimizing all the negatives, which are the foundations of which a successful society cannot be built on.
Take a look at it this way, right? If you say somebody has committed a crime or forged their own document and all that, now the evidence to prove that is on you that is accusing the person, not the person to prove that they are not right. Now, here is the problem.
Yes.
When you now bring the evidence to them, it is also on the court to accept your evidence or not. So if they say they don't accept your evidence, then what else you're going to do?
Absolutely. And I think, going further, right, the Supreme Court should be seen to be setting precedents, okay? Because at the end of the day, we're not talking about any position. We're talking about the premier position in the country. Right. We're talking about who is going to be the face of the country for the next 4 years. I will keep saying 4 years. We're looking at 16 years as far as I'm concerned, right? We're looking at 4 years, 8 years of Tinubu, 8 years of Shettima, okay? Because they're not going to let any other party into, come in to take away their, what they feel belongs to them. No, I don't think Nigeria is going to last that long. I think eventually, right, this momentum is going to be, build up to the point where, like you've been saying, Nigerians are going to be fed up and they'll say, you know what, we've had enough, right?
And when they are
fed
up, right, all of us will know.
Exactly. That's one thing I believe.
Amaechi said, majority of those you see coming to protest are rich people or children of the rich or those who are still kind of managing, that when the real poor people hit the streets, everyone will know. But are people not actually becoming poorer now?
I think we are living in, maybe some people feel they still have hope in the sense that, okay, maybe they call somebody's going to have mercy and send them money and things like that. I really don't know the thought process, for most of the people residing in Nigeria, because the situation is already dire, right? You're talking about the Naira clawing back 116. Is that something to celebrate? Is that something to come out and beat your chest and say, oh yeah, Tinubu is doing it? Doing what? The same Naira that before, when you slept and you woke up, is now in a worse position.
1,240 naira. And if they don't keep injecting now, by Monday morning, it may actually cross 1,500. If they don't keep injecting, and I don't know how they're going to do it, they have to keep injecting it.
Listen, that's a Tinubunomics. You cannot understand. You cannot put. You can. Yes, you cannot understand it. It doesn't make any sense. So for you to try to make sense of it is like trying to make sense of crazy. There's no point. Okay. What we know is that it's. Exactly, you're wasting your time. There's no point. That's just a fruitless venture. Now, I listened to your show, and one time I said to you that a lot of people listen to you, but they don't hear you. And I echo the same sentiments of somebody on the chat group. A lot of people come here, and I don't know whether this is entertainment for them.
I know.
There's a lot of laughing, you know. There's a lot of insult and there's a lot of abuse. This situation is a serious situation. I think I just want to use that medium to tell people this situation is serious. It doesn't affect just the people in Nigeria, it affects people in diaspora because we still all have families there. We still have people there. So I don't understand what the laughter is about. You know, I don't understand what, you know, the laughter emojis are for. Nothing is funny, you know. On that day, the 25th, you know, it was a sad, sad day. You know, it was a sad day. People cried their hearts out. Yes, you say, okay, maybe they were living in fool's paradise, but dare we not hope? You cannot ask people not to hope, not to believe. Yes, but even if you feel that, oh yes, the handwriting is on the wall, but still you hope that even those people who you think should be learned and better than you make the best decisions. But yet again, we've confirmed that the corruption is deep within the country. Okay, if there's nothing else that this government has told us, it has told us the depth of the problems that we have, you know. And you made a point the other day that even with Peter Obi in power, he faces a lot of roadblocks. He faces a Senate that is used to being pampered and spoiled. So when he takes that away, that is going to be a problem. You know, you face the North who do not want to take orders from an infidel. So that is another problem waiting for him. Okay?
They
so
will simply just make the country ungovernable for him, and they will blame everyone of you who made him president. That Shebina, you go bring him. Now he has, you know what I mean? Like, it's never really
exactly. They will, even if he's able to communicate, talk to their leaders, and you know, you still have people like Sheikh Gumi, you know, who are there trying to foment trouble. Who we don't know who arms the Fulani terrorists, but somebody is arming them. So they will go there and they will continue to cause problems in areas, in places that make him, like you said,
the
country ungovernable.
That they have already recruited repentant terrorists. Don't forget that too. That's the military.
Exactly.
You have to also manage, Abi.
That's the same military that is supposed to take orders from him.
Yes.
So the problem that we have is not, I won't say it's insurmountable, but it's a big one, you know. I don't know how we're going to solve it. But I do believe that, like you said, it is gaining momentum. People are getting there. We are getting there. Whether it's going to be slowly or otherwise, people are getting there. The agitation for Biafra is now more than ever. I'm seeing it and hearing it.
Feeling like, well, you know what? These guys are right.
Exactly. And you can't really blame them because you're saying to them, we remain in this entity where not only are you regarded as a second-class citizen, you are being led by a criminal. And I can tell you for free that the Igbos don't want to be led by a criminal. And we have enough criminals of our own trying to do, and they will never keep quiet.
Never.
And they will never keep quiet. The spirit that we need to have is the same spirit that we had of, I don't know if you've ever heard about the Igbo landing. The slaves that were taken away from Igbo land.
They said that death is better than being enslaved.
Death is better than being a slave. Their captors watched them walk into that river, right? Thinking that they were going to come out. They stayed there, they drowned there. Those are the spirit. That is the spirit of our ancestors. That's the spirit that we need to call on. Otherwise,
and I actually do wish that a lot of us will have that kind of a spirit now. Not that we should die, but it's just that to know that death is not actually ending itself. Sometimes it's just
not ending. But you know let me just end on this, right? I understand what you're saying, but a lot of the times when the slaves had an uprising, it wasn't because they didn't think they were going to die. It was because of the future of the ones coming after them. When you had to imagine that your wife will be raped by your slave master, that your child has that same life in front of her, or your son will be separated from you. There are so many things that made them take up arms at the end of the day. Right, so it was not just about I don't want to die. It's I don't want the generation after me to live like this. Let me end it at that. All right.
Thank you very much. That's a very, very powerful one, I have to say. You have a wonderful evening there, okay? Here we go. Oh, did I just miss that? Hang on. I think I did. I am going to. Okay. Hello there.
Oh, did I just miss that?
Hello?
Hello, sir. Can you
Hello?
hear me? Yeah, I can hear you. You might
Yeah.
need to mute the broadcast, by the way. You should
Yeah,
mute
I have.
that or move away from there. How are you?
I have. Hello. Thank you, Mr. Mayogun. Lovely program today.
Thanks, man.
You see, my 2 cents. Why are we forcing Nigeria to work? It is glaring Nigeria cannot work. To solve Nigeria's problem, we need to go back to the very beginning. What was the motive of the colonial masters for creating Nigeria? These are the kind of questions we should ask. What were the negotiations or what were the agreements to be in a country called Nigeria? Today, Nigeria symbolizes hopelessness, darkness, hatred, and we can never move forward. That's why our engineers, our doctors, lawyers are turning to prayer warriors. Mr. Mayogun,
Sir?
the earlier Nigerians understand their responsibility. As a black nation, the only thing black people have not experienced is freedom. We don't even have a definition of what freedom means. So the earlier we start fighting for our freedom, we change our value system and understanding that freedom is worth more than pounds, dollar. It's worth more than that. It's worth more than money. Look at Mazi Nnamdi Kanu today. All he said, he has been right. They call him an idiot, they call him a warmonger, but let them mention that is a lie. Let them come out. He told Nigerians that Tinubu would win the election. He even said INEC would pick the winner of the election.
He did say that.
And when
even before Tinubu got any nomination or even declared that he wants to be president, he's already said that. He said there is this pact between him and Buhari. You will not have an election, whatever. Even if you do any election, INEC will announce him the winner. Or they did it. Nobody took him that serious until it came to pass. Look at us.
Exactly. The foolishness of my people back home. They think a prophet is somebody that will have a magic rod that will divide the Red Sea. That's their definition. They think a prophet is a magician. A prophet is simply somebody who can tell you the truth, even at the expense of his or her life. Because the truth is a more potent weapon than guns and bullets.
God bless you.
So, Mr. Mayogun, thank you so much for the program. Thank you for having me on the show.
And thank you so much for adding that to it tonight. This is what makes it more unique for all viewers. Okay, Baba? You stay safe, okay? Thank you. Now, I have another caller, by the way. And I think that is Prince Judgements. The Prince.
Hello, my good general.
How are you, sir? Prince Judgements.
Yeah, Baba. This Prince Judgements representing IPOB for life, Baba.
How are you today?
Baba, we hello. Yeah, my Kano mic. We did. Nothing do you, Baba.
Welcome to the program tonight, Baba. So you've been part of it all along. So tell us, from which perspective are you actually looking at this from tonight, Prince Judgements?
What we can see is that already it's no longer a dream, it's a reality. Okay, that the person who went to school in Chicago as a woman and graduated as a man, yeah, that the whole world is obvious for the whole world, is now the president of Nigeria. Okay, is no longer a story, it's not a reality. The question now is that what's the next thing to do? What's the next line of action? Okay. First of all, I want to tell Nigerian people, you have seen today that Nnamdi Kanu is not your problem. Biafrans are not your problem. Okay? They killed 5 million Biafrans, 67 to 70.
That's right.
You know, in order to keep Nigeria as one. But obviously, in reality, there's nothing like Nigeria. The country called Nigeria is nothing but a business center.
Prince
It's turn by turn.
Yeah, Prince
Yes,
Jejeba.
Baba.
You know, one thing I was asking myself about 5 years ago when I really got involved in this, the profiling of the Biafrans and state-sponsored the terrorism against them, right? And I was like,
yes,
wait, in 1967, between 67 and 1970, Nigeria committed genocide against the Igbos in eastern Nigeria, okay, women and children. And their reason was that Ojukwu was breaking away. That's the propaganda they sold to the rest of the country, okay? That they will not let Ojukwu take the Igbos away, okay? Now, in my own mind at the time, I was like, wait, is it because they want all of us? They want to, because I wasn't born then, right? Is it because they wanted all of us to be born into this slavery? All of us, they want all of us to see this shaggy, including the Igbos, that you are not going anywhere. Or what is the exact reason why they kept the Igbos in Nigeria and killed 5 million of them to keep them in Nigeria? To do what exactly in Nigeria 50 years after that? I keep asking myself that, did they keep the Igbos, kill them, to keep them part of this contraption? For what? Have you ever asked yourself that? Like, why did they keep us?
Yeah, my good general, you know, everything in life has time. Okay? There's time to deceive, and there's time to say the truth to come to light. All right? The blood of the innocent that died, that they killed, both young, you can see millions of children that went through Kwashoko. They starved more than 2 million children to death. Do you think that the blood of all these innocents will keep quiet and they will succeed? No. You see, these criminals, the blood of those that they killed are haunting them. That's why they can never do anything right. Because if you see the way they are running the country, you will know that the country does not, they hate the country with passion. All right? If they see Nigeria as their own country, if it's their family, Nigeria is their family, they can never run it down, or their own personal business. Do you understand?
I know.
So they don't see Nigeria as their own country at all. You know, that is just one. And now that the eye of East, West, North, and South have opened, now the Kano have helped to open the eye of every Nigerian that criminal and terrorists are their leaders. The next line of action now is, how do we come out of this slavery, my good general? You see what, if you listen to Amaechi, you showed him, you know. By the way, I want to thank you because you are in fact, I would say you are the number one person who has analyzed the Biafran issue. The best person I've seen that have analyzed the Biafran suffering to the whole world. You are number one. You know, I'm saying it to your face, and I thank you for that.
Thank you.
See, so Amaechi, with the speech of Amaechi, you know, he never came out completely, but with what he said, the little he can say, you will understand. He's saying the mindset of them who are the elite. They are very much afraid. That's why you see them carrying soldier, police, civil defense, and everything. They are very much afraid. Yes, they are living in open prison.
They are prisoners under guard.
They are, by a good, they are prisoners. They are living in an open prison. Do you understand? They know that because they do go to UK, they go to America, they see people like them, governors, riding bicycle. Nobody, no police is following them. They know in Nigeria they are living in an open prison. It's obvious to them, but due to their vampire nature, they don't care. Do you understand? So the Amaechi has told us, given us the secret that they are afraid. You see, the only thing that is stopping Nigerian people is fear. Once we can overlook fear, you know, they can never, if they see millions of people march out during SARS, didn't you see that all of them went into hiding? Did you see any one of them?
They ran away.
They have to march. They have to bring out their terrorists. They recruited inside army and told us they are repentant Boko Haram. You understand? Because the army that is serving the nation, that belongs to the nation, cannot come and fight, shoot the citizen.
Like that.
You know, yes, with live ammunition. They cannot. Any true army is a terrorist that will do that. Come into a crowd and be shooting. Do you understand? So the people that they recruited into army, which does not belong to Nigerian people, they are terrorists. Boko Haram. A terrorist don't repent that way. Millions, thousands of terrorists, they told us they repented. So
terrorism is an ideology now. It's not something that you just say, okay, I am a terrorist. No, I'm not a terrorist anymore. No. It's an ideology, right? Before you get convinced enough to kill other person, that means you believe strongly in that ideology. It doesn't change. They don't change.
And Mayego, can I shock you? Can I shock you with a secret?
Please.
The worst thing is that you see these people, they are telling Nigerians that they are repentant Boko Haram. The abomination in what they are cooking for Nigerians is that most of them are foreigners. They are from Niger. They are not even Nigerians. I'm telling you, Mayegu, with authority. Most of them are not even Nigerians. Do you understand? During COVID, they brought some group and put them inside our forest. They are still dead. That danger, Nigerian people are not seeing it. That's the agenda of the Fulani, is to conquer Nigeria and make it a Fulani nation. And that agenda is not off on their table.
It's not.
Do you understand? Yes, it's not off on their table. And Turumbu being a Fonja doesn't care. He's a born criminal. It is in his blood. So he doesn't care how many people that are dying. He can escape with his private jet if wars come to wars. Do you understand? So Nigerian people, their destiny is in their hand. Because as Nigeria is, nobody is living. Everybody is just a walking corpse. A walking corpse. You can kidnap anytime and be killed. And nobody will even talk about it. That is the worst thing. Nobody will know that somebody died. You see? So that's the reason why everybody, you are fighting for your destiny. Don't think you are fighting for this. We that are abroad that are talking, we can say, forget about Nigeria, we'll be comfortable where we are. But we want to go back home. Do you understand? Where we are, where we are, one day they can, even if you have passport, they can withdraw it. It's not your home. Then where will you go back to? Do you understand? That's why we are fighting. Let them not think that we kill local Embe. Why are you people making noise? Actually, you don't escape. You should be where you are.
You know.
So that is it, my good general.
Thank you so much, Prince Judgeman. As usual.
God bless you, Baba.
I appreciate this.
God bless you.
Yeah, and you too. Take another one. Okay. Oh, hang on. I just missed that. Okay. See, I think I got it. Thank you so much, everyone who is still there watching. Remember, if you haven't really liked the broadcast, you should. You only do that once. Don't do it again if you have already done it. Okay. Hello there.
Hello, my Egun General. Good day to you, sir.
Good day to you too, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. This is Anthony again from Austin, Texas.
Great, Anthony from Austin. God, love that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How are you live and welcome, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I want to once more thank you for the wonderful thing you are doing. And, whether you believe in God or you go to church or you go to mosque, it doesn't matter.
I know.
The one thing I know about life is that in this life, what you sow is what you reap.
Absolutely.
And it's not about what I say or about what somebody else says. It's about what the universe says about human beings.
That's right.
Again, let me just, I know a lot of callers. I'm lucky to get through today. I've been trying.
Don't worry. Don't rush yourself. Just do your thing as soon as you can. You know what I mean? Please, don't stampede yourself.
I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. You know, just like you, before the Supreme Court ruled, I don't know, there are a lot of optimists in Nigeria, but I happen not to be one of them. I was in your shoes. I knew exactly. And even the way it happened, the fact that they said it was going to come on the 2nd of November, and suddenly they popped up to say they are delivering it on the 26th of October, knowing that they couldn't stop, they were not going to be able to stop the
FBI expected file release.
It was, yes, it was supposed to be clear to everybody what these guys were up to, you know. But my good general, we can say all we want. We can all discuss, talk about our frustrations, talk about what is bad with our country. At the end of the day, it is going to be, we are going to end up in disintegration. You know, the people come up to talk on your show. They talk about Nnamdi Kano and what Nnamdi Kano has talked about, what he stood for and all that. I used to engage a lot of my Igbo brothers then, and I tell them, look, this thing you guys are doing is good, but you know, you cannot build something on nothing. You have to build this foundation from home. Nobody will take you serious until you are able to stand your ground within those 5 eastern states to make sure that none of you takes part in anything that concerns Nigerian government, regardless of who is in power. You have senators collecting allocation. Your governors are collecting allocations.
That's right.
How have they demonstrated, at least within the states, that if they have their own country, the Biafran, that they will be able to perform very well? How have people been able to internally put pressure on all the politicians within your region to ensure that nobody takes appointment from the Nigerian government? If you cannot even start from there, they say charities start from home. Begins at home. If you can't achieve that, no other part of the country will take you seriously. If at the point in time, people begin to see that no Igbo man is taking appointment from the federal government, no Igbo youth are not participating in Nigerian politics, in Nigeria, you just find a way to form your own government and run your show. The world will take you serious. Nigerians will take you. Nobody can come and force you out of your house to become a minister or to become a governor or whatever. That is on one part.
Right.
So the only thing I did not like about Nnamdi Kano is that you cannot condemn entire people. If you go back to his videos, I'm not trying to bring up
let it out, Anthony, please. Let it out. I mean, you know, sometimes all these things might sound like criticism to some people, but they always ended up as you know, things that, you know what I mean, like lessons that we learn from and improve on. You get what I mean now? So let it out. I mean,
yes, sir.
Don't worry. Go on, sir.
Okay. Now, so what I'm saying is that you cannot, in a place, a country that is called one united country, as it is called today, and you are looking for people to, take yourself out of that contraption. The Yoruba nation are looking to take themselves out of the contraption. In respect to what Sunday Igboho started. Sunday Igboho started by talking about Yoruba nation and what they want for themselves. Sunday Igboho never insulted anybody. Nnamdi Kanu was berating the Yorubas. He will talk about how Yorubas are terrible. He will talk about how the Hausa, the Fulanis are terrible. How the Middle Belt. Look, if you are doing that, stay on your message. And I can say that and this, and I can say it again and again and again. The reason why P2B appealed to every Nigerian across board is that he stayed on a message. And his message was not talking down the Hausas, not talking down the Yorubas, not talking down any ethnic group, but talking about one Nigeria and what he can do for the South, for the North, to make sure that he moves Nigeria forward. That was what resonated. the fact that my brother and my friend Omoyele Sowore did not resonate that much was because people, I was in that camp. I was in the inner caucus of Sowore, and I was always saying, let's stay on message. Because I am 100% sure, Mayogu, that if we had somebody with obese message and the heart of Sowore, by today, Nigeria would have been liberated. Because if Sowore got a message across to Nigerians that everybody accepted the way they accepted would be, with his personality as an activist, this thing that happened in 2023 election, that we all know it is a broad daylight robbery, Sowore would never have allowed it to happen. Sowore would have stood in front of the line. Because to me, I love Obi. I know he's somebody that doesn't want any Nigeria to lose their life. You cannot save Nigeria today without people losing their lives. It's not possible. That is wishful thinking. So if Sowore had gotten what Obi got, Sowore will not only ask people to go and fight for our mandate, he will be in the front line to fight for that mandate. And that is what you call a leader. I was telling people that Nelson Mandela never asked people to go and fight for apartheid. He was in the front line. He was ready to die for it. You know, so you can't wish it away. So let me quickly summarize by saying this. Yes, let me quickly summarize by saying this. Look, the time to talk has passed. It is now time for action. I go on Twitter Spaces, be hosted by a lot of credible Nigerians. Wonderful guys. There's one guy they call Emir Saddam. There's one other one they call different names they have, but they host spaces.
There, I know.
There are so many there. What I said at one point is that you cannot win your enemy in a battle by coming in the public to tell that your enemy your strategy that you would want to use to fight him. During the election, you can use those spaces to galvanize, to mobilize for election, to sensitize people to go out and vote. Now that we have seen that election is not the solution, I still see a lot of these people hosting spaces, and people are coming to talk about what they will do, the plan of how we can fight this government. You can't do that. It doesn't work.
Anyone who is really serious won't do that.
You selling your, because to me, if I was on the side of APC, I would be laughing at you people. You are planning what to do to us, and you are telling us what you are going to do. We are in government. We are in control. We control the army. We control the police.
So
we control everything.
It will be our fault if we let that happen. That's exactly what that
means. It will be our fault. Now nobody will be stupid to allow that happen. Nobody. So
see,
what
Anthony,
I am going to say
thank you so much. I mean, you've actually really dropped a lot tonight, and I love the fact that you let that out. And you know why I said
I wish you allow me. I wish you allow me this last one. 10 seconds.
Okay, I will. I mean, I've allowed you a lot on so many, so that last one won't be the one that will kill you. So yeah, do it.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. Well, what I want to say is that we have to try to fight. You know, people fought the military government, which was what gave birth to Nadeko. People fought them, and they were able to succeed. So why can't we have people that fought in that Nadeko alive, who are not part of this corrupt government right now? Why can't we galvanize them around to make sure that there has to be a concerted effort by everyone in the diaspora and then energizing people at home to fight this government, to make sure that this illegitimate remains? We're all expecting the release of these documents from FBI. Let us back it up and push it in a way that this government can never be accepted anywhere around in the world that they go. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate
God bless you so much, Anthony. I mean, like, I do appreciate that you were able to deliver everything as as you had them in your mind. So thank you. But I've got something to say, a quick one, but I'm going to tell my next caller to please hang on for me for a second, okay? Sorry, 1 sec. Are you CD Anthony, or is that Osita?
Yes, it's me. One name.
You have to give me a minute, okay? I want to say something quickly before we go on. Okay, please just hang in there for me, Osita. Yeah. I have another caller, and that is Osita. And I kind of feel like What I'm about to say is the reason why Osita picked up this phone to call in when that person was talking about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But there is something that was on my mind when Anthony was talking. But the ideal thing is to let him finish. He won't be the first person, okay, that came on Mayegun's Diary Politico to say Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was wrong when the way he went about his campaign and awareness, especially for Biafran struggle. Oh, he abused this, he abused that. Anthony won't be the only person who came to say that, but it is ideal to remind all of us that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's way of passing his message never sat down well with some people, but he sat down very comfortably well with a lot of people. Not saying that those who don't appreciate the vulgarity, the abuse, and the rest of that, including those who accuse him of turning, abusing Awusas, abusing Yorubas, and all that. In all sincerity, okay, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was actually lambasting everyone. He lambasted the Igbos more than any other tribe in Nigeria, in case if you don't know. Okay, he's someone that actually has no single person that is devoid of his pang. And that is why in Igbo land, majority of the political class, they never liked him. They want him dead. If you know what he has said about them, for real, you realize that whatever you think is said about the Yoruba pastors, Yorubas or Igbos, and Yorubas, Hausas or Fulanis and the rest of them, whatever you think is said about them that got you so much like, don't worry. He said worse to the Igbos. Now, somebody said he should have used, like Anthony said, like he should have used this kind of his capacity, his reach, to use that influence on the political class of Eastern Nigeria to ensure that, number one, they can actually stop participating in Nigeria, or they are actually held responsible for the underdevelopment of Eastern Nigeria. Why do you think they want him dead? They called a meeting with him in Enugu. And at that meeting, they were expecting him to make demands for himself, money. Money, houses, luxuries, and all of that. He didn't. He wrote 10 points demand, 11 points demand. And the last part of that was just that they should unite to fight for the emancipation of the Biafran people. Do you know what is in all of those 10 points before the 11th one? It was asking the criminal politician in Eastern Nigeria, okay, to at least invest in electricity, in power, invest in infrastructure, build industries, connect your cities, give jobs to the young people, build schools, build health centers that actually take care of the citizens, okay? And this time around, fight for the sovereignty of the people of the Eastern Nigeria. He never asked for anything for himself. 3 days after that, the Nigerian soldiers were at his house in Abia to kill him. And that was when the second Operation Python Dance happened. Some said that he could have used the IPOB to join politics, okay, and run for office by ensuring that the IPOB people are those in charge of the Eastern Nigerian states, the 5 states. But the bottom line is this. Nnamdi Kanu knows that participating in their charade elections that is going to be conducted by Nigeria automatically means you are going to legitimize the fraud, and you can no longer complain about it. A lot of these options have been said. Now, talking about abusing Yorubas or not cooperating with others, we all remember that before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, he was so interested that he started building relationship with the people of northern Nigeria, the people of the middle belt part of Nigeria. He met with the Yorubas, the Yoruba self-determination group. He met with the Revolution Now, Omoyele Sowore. All of this are just to tell you that Nnamdi Kanu, like everyone else, that is so angry with Nigeria, We could use any language, well, any other languages that we might have used in the past. Okay? But from all of these experiences, at the same time, we are not actually the divisive figure that they want you to see it as well. Anthony, I get your drift, and I want you to bring yourself to up to date. The same Nnamdi Kanu, before they kidnapped him, became somebody who is now building and fighting, not just for the Eastern Nigeria or so, including the people of Northern Nigeria. And the reason why he didn't participate in their politics, isn't it obvious now? That's the one I can respond to on that Nnamdi Kanu, just to set the record there straight. And I've kept Osita there waiting all night. Osita, one name.
Yeah, one name.
I'm so sorry I kept you waiting.
No.
Because if I
did
didn't say
part
that,
of my
I was
job.
just gonna.
No, you
did.
You already did part of my job.
I knew it. I knew. The moment I saw something, the number I was at, is that Osita? I knew. A lot of people are going to call in tonight because of what Anthony said. But
Anyway,
I don't want us to see that bad. But
I'm not.
Please.
I'm not here to bombard anybody because every man is entitled to his own opinion.
That is right.
It depends on how you understand the situation or how Nigeria, the sad story, the evil genius of Nigeria has affected you. So it all gets to all of us. It's a turn-by-turn situation.
That's right.
One way or the other, you will find out. Even as at then, I want to make a reference to what he said about Nelson Mandela in South Africa.
That's right.
It is only when people don't understand what happened in South Africa, people would think that it was only Nelson Mandela that was talking. There was the king of I've forgotten the name of that.
The Zulus.
The Zulus. Yeah, when he met Nelson Mandela, he told Nelson Mandela in one of the books I've read, and he said that, why don't we just ambush these people and kill them overnight? And Nelson Mandela said, no, that is not his style, that they will kill all of us if we do that. Nelson Mandela, what people don't understand, there is a difference between a freedom fighter and a political activist. That is something that people don't understand. And Nelson Mandela is only one person in the history of Africa, and probably Kwame Nkrumah, that is a political activist and at the same time a freedom fighter. When you look at their speech, it's different from what we see in Nigeria, that you say people are political activists. After all, what's his name? The lawyer, the Canary that speaks all the time. What's his name? The one that made aviation minister.
Which one is that? Otobo Keyamo. You mean Frostos?
Otobo Keyamo. Keyamo is a political activist. What I want you to know is that a political activist could actually change like a chameleon. But you see, the one that is a freedom fighter does not do that.
Because they have an ideology.
Why you will know? Yes, it's an ideology that is built. Why you will know? Nelson Mandela. If Nelson Mandela tells you, as at that time he was doing that, I don't care being a president of South Africa, people will not understand. They will say it's a lie. But he displayed it when he came out from prison. His people forced him. He became president and he told them that I was going to rule for only just 1 year. 4 years.
That's right.
And of which he did. That is somebody who is a freedom fighter. That is the freedom fighting, this thing that he displayed. So I want that caller. He's our brother, but sometimes he doesn't understand the pain. The first, you are the one that normally broadcast Nnamdi Kanu's first major speech on air. When he was talking about that thing, he was not talking about Nigeria. He was concerned for the people of the North.
That is right.
When Nnamdi Kanu,
and that is the real Nnamdi Kanu we know. Osita, thanks so much for mentioning that. I'm going to bring it up. A quick one, if you don't mind. Osita,
no problem.
If, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu who happen to be somebody who is not who they told you he is, or who you choose to see him as, if you are seeing him as a very, very wrong, bad person, right? This was a while back. A reminder. Sorry, Osita.
My name is Kano, and the reason why we're here today is to protest the killing of innocent women and children, and men for that matter, all over Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria. We are not happy, we are not pleased with what is happening, and that is why we're here today. As you can see, there are a lot of Nigerians who are protesting about the killing of families, people who are determined to tear the country apart violently, and it is not something that we support. It is not something that we would like to see continue, and we are here today to send a clear message to the Nigerian government, to the High Commissioner, that what is happening in the country is unacceptable, and we cannot accept it. If that continues, it will lead to the violent disintegration of the country. There will be no more Nigeria for anyone to go to. There will be no Nigeria for anyone to refer to. In fact, what is happening in Somalia today will be like a tea party. So we cannot allow this nonsense to continue. Something has to be done. And the consequences of the actions of terrorism in Nigeria must be driven home to the people, so that even the terrorists themselves will be able to understand that there is no mileage in where they're going. The only thing they can accomplish is the breakup of Nigeria. If they think that they can cower people, if they think they can force people to be coerced into a religion which is not theirs, then they are clearly mistaken. We are asking for peace. We are asking for people to get together. We are asking for everybody who loves Nigeria, who is associated with that country, to please prevail upon terrorism in Nigeria, so we can bring it to an end. That is why a multitude of Nigerians are gathered here today. Those of us in the UK are determined to work with the government for peace. We are determined to work with the International Community for peace. But one thing we cannot stomach is a repeat of 1966. What is happening today in Nigeria was the reason why Nigeria fought a bitter civil war for 3 years between 1967 and 1970. If this continues, there will be another civil war in Nigeria. And this time around, no place will be safe in Nigeria. This time around, nobody will be safe in Nigeria. So it is imperative that everybody who has the interest of the country at heart acts now and immediately to stop this nonsense from continuing.
Osita.
Yes, my brother. Well, like what I was saying was that people has thought that, oh, we can actually go to the pool and we could actually make a difference. No, irrespective of that, we supported. I supported P2B, but I know that is not the solution or the answer to the problem of Nigeria today, the Nigerian state. You can never beat them to their game except you introduce another formula to play that game. But if you use their formation, you will never beat them to it.
No.
Because they own the most important thing when it comes to their game. That is that judiciary you are talking about today. They own it. They tell you, when you do election, if you feel aggrieved that they didn't call you up as a winner, go to the court. They will be the one to tell you go to the court. They will be the one to tell you that go and form your own political party, because they know you will never beat them to their game.
And they are not ashamed to even rig it publicly and do all of that, because to them, what are you going to do about it?
Yes. So when somebody is preaching, I am so sorry, because during the time of what's his name, Babangida, during the time of Babangida, the riots that Chief Ganifa, the protests that we went, if you can get the newspaper Evening Times of that day, my father saw me on the top of the truck, the trailer, where we were offloading rice, saying that the trailer is not going to pass. I was in Bobby College at that time.
You joined the mob
yes,
that mobbed it.
Trailer
of rice, Abby.
Rice. My dad asked, "What if you were shot that day? Why? What if you were killed?" So the truth is, if we keep being afraid that we are going to die, we will remain this way. It is everybody's fight, is not one person's fight. If somebody is waiting, I keep saying it, if somebody is waiting for Showore to come and lead the fight, you are joking. If somebody is waiting for Sunday Igboho to come and lead the fight, you are joking. You are waiting for Mayegu, you are joking. You are waiting for Nnamdi Kanu, you are joking. They've held in Nnamdi Kanu. It doesn't stop them from holding any other person.
You know,
but they cannot hold all of us. That is the truth. They cannot hold all of us.
You know
so
what Amaechi also said there, which kind of resonates in my head, is the fact that even if you risk your life, okay, to bring evidence of their criminality, of these criminals to the public, at the risk of your life, they will still do nothing. Look at David Undenyi too. They actually want him dead or kind of jailed too, or, you know.
So people don't understand it. So that my brother that came up, please, I need you to understand something. If you are fighting these people based on what they introduced, what they created, you're never going to get anywhere. You have to create your own force, your own mentality. You have to build it. You have to groom it. You have to broom it. When you do all these things, believe me, you will find out that you can stand up against them. Thank you, my brother.
God bless you. Osita. That's Osita, ladies and gentlemen. I have another caller on the line. Here. Hello.
Sir. General. This is Sake calling from Spain.
Sake, tonight again. How are you, Sake?
Yes, I'm fine.
Great.
I've been following this program, and the last three people that have spoken, I noticed some things that they spoke about. And for example,
go on.
Yes, for example, Prince JJ Man, he talked about he spoke about fear. Then Anthony, he also said something like concerted effort. Then Osita too, he mentioned fear and concerted effort. Because they were thinking like the thing I'm also thinking about, because I spoke once on this program and I said that when are we going to break out from this chain? They said that if they push people to wall, they will come back. But the case is not for Nigeria. They push them to the wall, they will create hole inside that wall. They will keep on going. And when is it going to end? Like I was in Nigeria last year, the petrol price was something like 220 to 240 thereabouts. But suddenly, the thing came up to like 600 or something, nothing happened. And this has always been the case. This government, they are so brutal that they can push us into everything and we keep on adapting it to endless point. I don't know. The point is endless. And I find out that one of the reasons that this thing is being endless is the one I want to add is also religion. The way, I'm not saying that Christianity or Muslim, whatever, Islamic something is a bad something, but our approach is very wrong. We fight for God and we live our own battle. Who is going to fight for us? Yeah, to fight. So among all these points that these people have raised, like fear, concerted effort, another one that I want to add is this religious aspect. Yes, we should look into it. And when we put all these points together and we try to educate people about it, that is one of the ways I believe we can be liberated from the shackles of this government that is grabbing us anyhow. That's my contribution for tonight.
You have done so well.
Yes.
What you did right there is that you've kind of made it easier for a lot of our viewers, okay, to have something you can call the summary that they can pick out from the contribution of others, which is something that, like you said, we must emphasize on. If we want to encourage our people to stand up, we must talk about their fear. We must talk about the concerted effort. We will have to talk more about the religion, the manipulation, and the rest of that as well. Thank you. Sake?
Yes.
Take it easy, okay?
Yes,
and you have a wonderful evening, okay? Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Sake, ladies and gentlemen, conservative effort. Yeah, we're going to look into that. Anyway, I have another caller, by the way. Hello there.
Hello, my general, my GO.
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. This is Zeus.
Is that Zeus? Yes, that's you. By the way, thanks for that, your super chat. By the way, I saw that. That's generous.
No problem.
Thank you.
Mayegu, I would just say something just to reflect on just to help Osite and the rest real quick.
Quickly.
Because of fear, Igbos by DNA have been splitted by the Fulanis into 12 states. Edo, Kogi, Benue, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Delta, then including the 5 Igbo states that they always want to paint in our face.
They call Igbo states, yeah.
Igbo states. But we have originally, the other ones are like 25% indigenous Igbos in other states that I mentioned.
Oh, then if you look cut out and then demarcated with all those other states to make them minority there.
Yes, when they want to deny us our resources and everything.
I know.
And again, you look outside Nigeria, the British did the same. There's Igbos. Igbos are the largest ethnic group, the 3rd largest ethnic group in Equatorial Guinea. They call them Bioko, what my Igbo brothers call Panya. There's Igbos in Gabon. There's Igbos in Cameroon. Indigenous. These are being splitted by the British. Then these 12 states I'm mentioning, splitted by the Fulanis for their own resources. And now you see an Igbo man by DNA. I want any person from Ikwere that say he's not Igbo should go to ancestral.com. This is the 21st century. Right. I mean, go get your DNA done. Then we're going to tell you where you originate from, or people from Opobo. It's just simple. This is not all that stuff again. But another thing I want to say is that if you look at the war, Nnamdi Kano can get angry sometimes, but I know where he's coming from. During the war, we were not going to school for 3 years. Siblings, my grandma used to tell me, siblings used to share clothes. So when your elder one wear, then they're gonna wash it, then the younger one will wear it again. And I'm talking about from the Kwashiorkor killing and everything. And another thing I want to bring point, Awolowo was locked up in Calabar prison. Who is the head? Who is in control of the Old Eastern region? Was the late Biafra warlord Ojukwu. Ojukwu is senior to Gowon. Ojukwu was the one that released Awolowo, brought men, military men, to accompany him to Okene. Then Gowon don't want to tell Yorubas that. He wants to make sure that he released. Ojukwu will not release Awolowo to a junior officer. Military, we don't do that. It was Ojukwu that released Awolowo, and they have an agenda then that Awolowo will go ahead and declare Oduduwa Republic. That's why Ojukwu have to send men to him all the way to Okene. Then when he went down there, Ogowanda promised him the finance minister. And we know the rest from the pounds that they gave us and all the stuff that goes. I mean, I'm not trying to start repeating stuff, but you should know where people's pain are coming from.
Right.
You know? Yeah, that's where our pain is coming from. Where somebody that bears or your name and speaks your language, but through fear we tell you that he's not evil. But science doesn't work that way, you know. And before I go out of this,
just before you go to go to the next one, I have a quick few corrections to make in your assertion. By the way, Zeus, right?
Okay.
I appreciate the fact that you had to kind of give us the background of however any Igbo speaks today. The background is that they are coming from a brutal history that was pretty much like an organized genocide against an ethnic nationality, which is mostly political in a way. There are a few things we need to also clarify there too, okay? And indeed, it is true. It was the government of Ojukwu, right, that released Awolowo from Calabar prison. At the time, there was actually no war or preparation for any of such, okay? However, there was already an ongoing killing of the Igbos, which has already kind of like, mounting up the pressure of there's possibility of a breakaway and the rest. Now that's where politics comes in. Okay, the thing Awolowo did was that it was reported to have been the one who advised Gowon that you can't be fighting war with people and allow food to be going to them. Something that is actually a war crime. I will hold him to that, no matter how anybody try to change the story. But you see that story of 20 pounds, right? Do you know by the time they concluded of paying the Biafrans returning 20 pounds, Awolowo was no longer Commissioner of Finance. Okay, it was in fact not even in position, right, to advise Gowon at the time. There were some backlashes from that war that got Awolowo himself out of that government. But again, Zeus, I kind of understand the background. Okay, however, you wanted to add more earlier, please.
Okay. What I want to before I end that, I would just want to thank my Yoruba brothers too, because after the war, while my brothers in River State, Port Harcourt were making abandoned properties and claiming all our properties and belongings, the Yorubas in Lagos said no. They were actually collecting rents for the landlords, the Igbo landlords, for 3 years, and gave it back to them when they arrived back after the war.
Of our history. So thank you so much, Zeus. Okay, there's something as well for those who listen to Zeus and any other person who have their stories to tell. I want you to know one thing: if you are not a Biafran or a descendant of any Igbos, right, who survived the Biafran genocide that they called war, you will never in any way understand their story if you have never been one of them. But there's something I love to say to my Igbo brothers and everyone else affected by this, that it is always good to learn from our histories, the mistakes of the men of yesteryears, the disagreement of those who are fighting for power here and there at the time, and the sacrifice of millions of their people, so to say. But there's something we must all remember. Learning and reading from our history is so good. It is because we shouldn't be repeating the same mistake that led to the slaughter of millions of people. Now, I advise people that do not be prisoners of history. Prisoners of history are those who walk about with revenge. And there are many like us today who have that revenge in their hearts. Learn from history, but do not be imprisoned by the hate or anything else. You will learn from that history. And like I said, it may not go down well with a lot of people. It's just my own simple advice that I actually offer. But when you see the Igbos telling their stories, do not go there and say they are exaggerating. Do not go there and say they are like complaining, because you have never really walked in their shoes. If you take your time to read the atrocities of that genocidal war, and those who actually conspired to sponsor the war against the Igbo at the time, you realize that the Igbo stood no chance. It was completely suicidal. And that Nigeria took no responsibility is the reason why Nigeria would never, ever, ever work together as one. I have discovered this for a long time. Okay? Nigeria held, what do you call it? They held those who were killed. They hold them in contempt. Okay? They don't want anybody to talk about the genocide. They don't want anybody to, in fact, in any way read about it. In a way, because those who participated in the genocide, the murderous criminals who became your leaders here and there, those who carried out the killings of women and children, over 5 million of them, in order to keep this contraption together, they were never held responsible. They went on to be rewarded. Many of them became head of states. Others became governors, ministers, and all of that stuff, generals here and there, living in wealth, right? And they said it is a case of a no winner, no vanquish. How do you kill that much? And you said no winner, no vanquish. There's no memorial set up for those supposedly Nigerians, if you don't want to call them Biafrans. Over 5 million Nigerians that were slaughtered and killed needlessly for no just reason. You understand? So I encourage us to kind of do our best. I mean, I don't know if that's the right thing to say to the victims of genocide the survivors or descendants of genocide in the same country that they are still being profiled, in the same country that they are still being treated, not as a second-class third-class citizens. They are being treated as outcasts. They will brag and tell you Igbos will never lead Nigeria because of the war, or they will never let them go. And that's why I said, for those who have learned, who have read the history, I don't care about the version of history you've read. And those who who kind of wrote their own version. But if what you learn from that history you have read is kind of more hate and anger, fine. Okay? But you must ensure that you are not a prisoner of history. I'll leave it at that, because a lot of people actually have more probably to add. I'll let you relax tonight, okay? We can do more of that next time. Thank you for every minute you spend with me tonight. And to everybody who has kind of paid their own offering, thank you. Like the video if you haven't already. To my super chatters, thank you. And to everybody else who also called in, God bless you, thank you. I have done my part. And to those who are going to see this video later, please make sure you watch everything from the start. I'll see you some other time, okay? Until then, stay safe and keep it easy. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Mayegun Diary politico. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.